Welcome to the Workplace Minute, powered by H3HR Advisors and sponsored by WorkHuman. Thanks for joining me for your quick briefing on what's important in the world of work. My name is Steve Boese. Today in the Workplace Minute, we're taking a closer look at a tiny object with an outsized role in the economy and in our everyday lives, the humble screw, and how global trade policies and shifting economic pressures are shaking up the industry that makes them. Let's break it down. When you think about Taiwan's place in the global economy, chances are your mind jumps straight to semiconductors. The island is home to the factories that etch impossibly small circuits into silicon, powering everything from iPhones to AI servers. But Taiwan is also the world's quiet giant in another industry, screws. That's right, the simple, often overlooked screw that holds together bathroom cabinets, backyard decks, and even airport terminals. For more than 3 decades, Taiwan has been the #1 supplier of screws and fasteners like nuts and bolts to the United States. And in southern Taiwan, entire districts like Luzhu and Gangshan buzz with around-the-clock manufacturing machinery. Some 1,500 companies make screws there, and 1 in 8 people in the region works in the industry. Factories in Taiwan range from small family-owned shops to large-scale manufacturers like Shea Feng Screws, founded back in 1973. Under the leadership of Kent Chen, the company has developed over 1,000 varieties of screws, even working with U.S. partners to color match screws to the wood used in American home improvement projects. Its business thrived, with Shea Feng supplying products for shelves, porches, even shopping malls, you name it. But this under-the-radar industry is now facing unprecedented pressure. President Trump's 50% tariffs on imported steel and aluminum, combined with a sharp appreciation of Taiwan's currency, have created a double blow for these manufacturers. Orders for companies like Shea Feng are down nearly 20% year over year, and some factory owners say entire neighborhoods once dedicated to screws are now dotted with closed plants. And larger players like Lu Chu Xinye, a screw maker that dates back to 1965, have tried to adapt by producing more specialized products, like screws for subway cars and other high-speed trains. But even they struggle to compete with mainland Chinese rivals who often offer prices that are 30 to 50% lower. And smaller manufacturers don't have the option of moving their production abroad, leaving them particularly vulnerable. And this matters far beyond Taiwan. U.S. retailers like Home Depot rely heavily on these imports, even as they've promised to diversify their supply chains and source more products domestically. But here's the reality. The U.S. doesn't have the kind of factory infrastructure or the wage and labor cost flexibility to easily replace Taiwan's output. Even if the semiconductor industry, TSMC, has struggled to staff its new Arizona chip plant, imagine the challenge of finding workers willing to endure the grueling labor of handling molten steel in a screw factory. So why should HR and business leaders care about this story? Because it illustrates how global labor markets, supply chains, and policy decisions ripple down to even the smallest parts of our economy. A tariff in Washington can idle a factory in Kaohsiung, Taiwan, which can slow deliveries of the very hardware used to build American homes and offices and that employ American workers. It's a vivid reminder that workforce stability and economic well-being are fragile, and they're globally intertwined. For HR leaders, the lesson is clear. Resilience requires awareness. Supply chain fragility isn't just a problem for operations. It touches workforce planning, sourcing strategies, even organizational risk management. Supporting employees in industries that are under pressure, building flexibility into your talent strategies, and understanding how global policies impact local workforces will only grow in importance. So the next time you tighten a screw in your home or your office, consider the global chain of labor and policy decisions that made it possible. And as leaders, ask, what can we do to strengthen our organizations and our people against these external shocks? That's it for the Workplace Minute today. Thanks so much for listening, and a big thank you to WorkHuman for supporting the Workplace Minute. If this episode made you think about the broader economic environment beyond your 4 walls, please share it with a colleague. I'm Steve Boese, and this has been the Workplace Minute from H3HR Advisors.